Hey, Tim, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm live, so I'll call the meeting to order. And we respectfully acknowledge that we live and work in Mi'kmaq as the steward of the ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We are all treaty people. Approval of the agenda and order of business. 8.2 Church Memorial Park presentation. They will not be in this morning. And I have to add, Jonathan wants to give us a verbal update on the PACE program. And that's it for me, but I don't know about anybody else.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Seconder?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. There isn't any, is there any public input other than those that have a presentation to make? No, then I won't bother reading through all the rules. Minutes of the previous meeting, February 26th, errors or omissions.
I'll move we approve minutes.
Do we have a seconder?
You need to use your mics. Just because Pam is going to take minutes.
Okay.
Do we have a seconder? So, moved by Sharon, seconded by Clarissa, I'll say. Okay. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Where's Pam?
Pam's off today, so she's going to take minutes from the recording.
Oh.
So we just need to
Oh,
make
so
sure
we need
you
to be
say
clear,
who
yeah,
moves and
who's,
seconds.
well, she knows who always moves it and seconds it. The
Sometimes
same
it's
people
hard.
almost all the time.
Who's acting as clerk?
What?
Who's acting as clerk?
Who's acting as clerk? That needs to be in the minutes.
So will Emily be acting as, are you acting as clerk?
No, because I'm not taking minutes.
One of us can act as clerk.
Okay, you'll pretend you are anyway. Okay, is that good enough, Sam?
Well, that's right. As long as you have someone who's acting as clerk.
Okay. Okay, it's close to 9 o'clock. Sid, are you ready? Come on up.
For the record, my name is Sid Demerick, and I'm representing the Mahone Islands Conservation Association. And I'd like to introduce our fearless chairman, John Meisner, who you probably all know.
Yep.
See everybody, thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to thank you for squeezing me in. The time frame in this issue is, there's only 20 days to make comments, and the Lunenburg Council asked for an extension so they could have time to formulate a motion, and they said, absolutely not. There's a 20-day window. It closes Friday. Do it or don't do it.
That's the way it is sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm very appreciative. Can we go to my first slide? Yeah, that one. That one, thank you. Thank you. So I'd like to close, I'd like you to close your eyes and picture Mahone Bay without the islands. You can't do it because Mahone Bay and Chester and Mahone Bay and the islands, they're all the same thing. So close your eyes again and picture all those islands with mansions on them and no trespassing signs on the beach. That's not going to happen, thanks to this council and Micah. So close your eyes again and picture the waterways to get to the islands so full of aquaculture sites, you can't get to the island without deking and dodging. That could happen. So I will reintroduce Micah to you. I'm sure you're all familiar with Micah because we've been partners for many years. But Micah is 23 years old, and Micah is a grassroots, totally volunteer-driven organization. And in 23 years, with the help of wonderful counselors like you guys, we have protected 23 either whole islands, parts of islands, or key pieces of shoreline. I forgot to say, you guys are the best council in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens today, you'll still be. So the next slide, I would like to just reiterate our mission statement. And I do this because Micah is the only group I've ever met that goes over its mission statement at every meeting. Whenever anything comes up at Micah, a decision to be made is evaluated against the mission statement. To protect and conserve the natural environment of the islands and shoreline of Mahone Bay and the traditional, social, and recreational opportunities valued by its various communities. It doesn't say public access, but it's implied through and through and through. That's what we're trying to do, provide the public with the islands. Next slide, please. So, I'm not going to dwell on this slide because it's too small, but every one of those circles is an island or a piece of shoreline or a part of an island that Micah has changed from, been instrumental in changing from private ownership to public ownership. Next slide. Back one. The one with the buoy.
There you go.
Great. So our latest venture, which has been again in cooperation with this council and with the Modal Council, is public moorings. And this year we will put out our 50th public mooring. Every one of them joint ventured with either Chester or Modal. So we have islands that have been changed from private to public ownership and shoreline. We have public moorings, and we thought we had public water. It never occurred to us that someone would try to take the water away from us. The water that makes Mahone Bay so special and the water that allows us to get to these islands. Next slide. So I want to draw your attention to, although it's not in MOC, probably the nicest corner of the nicest bay in eastern North America. And it's the circle down by Indian Point. Next slide. There it is, blown up, but the next slide gives you a better image of it.
Okay.
This is, we're going to hone in on the area around Indian Point, Andrews Island, which was the first island that Micah acquired, and Sheep Island and Goat Island, which are Micah Islands, and Ernst Island, which is half owned by Micah. And I know it's not in your area, but this is the nicest corner of the bay. If you could only get one boat ride a year, I can guarantee you, you will go down through Indian Point, and you go between Andrews, Sheep, and Goat. And you would either carry on a little bit and go back through the outer islands, or you turn around and come back through here because it's so beautiful. So the point I'm trying to make is something that hurts part of the bay hurts the whole bay, even if it's not in Chester's
Is this the
bailiwick.
location of the scallop farm?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So I'm going to ask you to do something to express some concern about this. And the principle is that even though it's not in your area, it's going to affect, if it affects one part of Mahone Bay, it affects all of Mahone Bay. Next slide. So there are the 3 scallop farms proposed. And if you go to the next slide, it's a little easier to see. So I mentioned coming down between Indian Point and between Andrews and Goat. That's like a cork in a bottle. And you can't see it, but there's a shoal in between Andrews and that blue blob of a scallop farm. So it's really tight getting through there. The other one goes alongside Rose Island. It's almost a kilometer long. It's 9/10 of a kilometer long. And the other one is hard against Callback Island, partially blocking a very nice passage between Callback and Swickers Island. And they total 106 acres.
That's a big.
Now, it's not, if you look at the whole bay, it's not a lot, but this is the nicest portion of the bay. And we're not against scallop farms. There's one off Snake Island that actually Brad founded many years ago. We support that, and we actually support a proposed expansion of that one. So there are places in the bay for scallop farms, but these are not the areas. Next slide. A friend of John's sent him this map, this chart, and he happened to have recorded every trip he made last year, those black lines. And he made so many trips through Indian Point, it's all melded together into one fat black line. And look where they go, right through that scallop farm. And a couple of lines go through the one that's off Rose Island, and a bunch of them go through the one off Callback Island. Next slide. So I just want to reiterate, we try to make the islands public, we try to provide public moorings, and we have to keep the water public, especially in this area. Next slide. So here's, you guys remember Rudy Hussey? There's Rudy Hussey picnicking on a beach, which is one of the traditional uses. Next slide. Here's why we do it. Next slide. Thank you very much for your attention. So I would ask you to somehow make your, if you agree with this, to make your concerns known to the Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture, and it has to be by tomorrow. The window closes tomorrow. They've given us very little time to respond to this.
So essentially, we would be opposed to the location of these
Yes.
particular farms?
Exactly. You don't have to be opposed to them in principle, but I hope you're opposed to the locations.
Yeah, and although it makes probably no difference, but just for curiosity's sake, who is it who wants to develop the scallop farms? Is it a local person, some business outside of?
It's 2 very nice young guys that we've had many dialogues with. One of them is from St. Margaret's, and another one is from somewhere else in Nova Scotia. They seem like very well-intentioned young men, and their idea is to grow super, super, super fat scallops and send them to restaurants up country. It's not a bad business model, yeah, and we would support it somewhere else, but we just don't support it here.
Too close to the islands that we have for public use.
Exactly, exactly.
Comments, questions, people? Do anybody oppose? Oh, sorry, Sharon.
Thank you. I would support writing a letter. I think we've invested
A lot of money.
a lot of money into these islands for
That's
public
right.
use, and maybe they could find another location. I would support it myself.
Yes, this council was ahead of the curve in making islands public.
You know, I'm not against the business, but it's just that maybe a different location would be more appropriate.
Thank you.
Tom?
Thank you, Warden Weber. Thank you for your presentation.
Thanks, Tom.
I think from my perspective, we all grew up on the shore. Our days of our fishing business have changed. We're now into tourism. We need people to come. I want to give you 2 quick stories. When I was a young lad, very young, I had the privilege and All my life, I spent time with the Hawseys, and Rudy Hawsey took me through that area on his yacht.
Oh, wonderful.
He and we went down sailing through there, and one of the words I remember him sailing, never lose this. He said, this is a gem, this bay, and he meant it more as the bay. Second thing is I just spent some time away, and I was proud to wear a very bright-colored Chester Municipality T-shirt, and I was stopped multiple times and said, is that where they do boat racing and have the beautiful bays? And I went, yes, and many of them said, we'd love to go there. And they were from all over the world. So I think this is an example of what we have to at least protect. And I'd like to propose or make a motion, we do put a proposal into them that says to the Department of Fisheries and Agriculture, the location of the three proposed scallop farm sites in Mahone Bay raises serious concerns in relationship to navigation, public access, and conservation around a very special area of islands and bays adjacent to these proposed lease sites.
That's the motion.
Yes.
Do we have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Discussion on the motion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you so much, unanimous.
Thank you for all the work you do.
You remain the best council in Nova Scotia.
You already promised that.
Well, we want them to keep saying it.
Thank you, we're very
Thank you.
appreciative.
Thank you very much, folks.
Okay, so you guys put the letter together, and it has to go by tomorrow, so unless it's done before I leave here today, you'll have to use my electronic signature.
We don't, I'll have to see if I can get it. Pam is out, so she has it.
She has my electronic signature. Doesn't the technicians around here know how to get to that? I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. All right, Jonathan, you might as well do your verbal update before I move on to the next item.
Morning, everyone. It's been a while.
Yeah?
So, at your February 26th meeting, you approved or endorsed Clean Foundation's proposal to increase its administrative fees for the clean energy financing program. Since then, late last week, I was contacted by Clean to say that unfortunately they're going to have to cancel the program. Yeah. So for fiscal restraints from their perspective. So there are, as you know, there are 12 municipal units within the clean energy financing program. Two of them, Modal and the town of Bridgewater, have slightly different contracts that go with FCM funding that are extended until March 2028. But the rest expire as of, well, for us it expires now, but they're willing to extend our contract to November in order to close the existing files. So at this point, the purpose of this verbal update is I just wanted to inform you that this was happening, because Clean needs to sort of promote, basically say that they're not accepting applications as of March 31st this year, because they need to sort of communicate that as soon as possible. But next week, I will have a brief report on the agenda where we can talk about some options about how we might go forward with the program.
What precisely do they provide for clean energy?
What do they do?
Yeah.
They administer the program.
Administer,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do all of the
We
work.
do the funding.
We do the funding, that's exactly it, yeah. And which is not, and there's work involved with that, particularly with Christine
Yeah.
and Tim, so they do
But
a
there's
key
gonna be
part of
more
that.
work for us.
Yeah, yeah.
So a big part of what they do is the
Is the
energy.
energy audits.
The energy audit.
Energy audits and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
So yeah, if were we to, and I think Tara brought this up at your last meeting about this, were we to undertake that internally, it would require more staff and more training in order to
Yeah.
do that. So it comes with a challenge to do it internally, but we'll get into some other options next week. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there because, as I said, I'm gonna just because when Clean said we want to communicate this that it's closing now, and I said just let me
So they've
let me talk to
they've
council.
lost their provincial funding?
It's what it is. It's through the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. That's so that basically subsidised it. It helped them with their administration costs, and that is all coming to an end.
Okay, questions, people? Oh, well, I guess, thank you.
Okay. I bring the bad news. All right, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, 10.1, information prepared, availability of funding for Hubbard's paved shoulders, financial information. And then we gotta decide what we're gonna do about it.
Are we gonna, Tim is joining the meeting virtually.
Oh.
So he's off on vacation this week, it's spring break, and he offered to come in and present for us, so he's joining virtually.
Okay.
So you received the initial report. I know, I forgot my mic is not on here. Sorry. Did you hear me there, Tim? Sorry, my mic wasn't on, but Alan's would have caught it. Okay. So you received the request previously to enter into a cost-sharing agreement with the Nova Scotia Department of Public Works for the addition of paved shoulders on Trunk 3. From the intersection of Forest Village Road to Sim Settlement, in Sim Settlement to the county line in Hubbard's. You had asked that we come back with some more information around the financial ability to do that project, and so Tim has prepared some information for you. So I'll let you take it away, Tim.
Well, he says.
Okay, so just like Tara mentioned, at the last council meeting in February, the province had a request for whether the municipality was interested in cost sharing on that paved shoulder project. And they have told us that they need an answer by this week. So prepared this information report to help you understand the ability to fund that. So traditionally, these paving projects, the cost sharing with the province is funded by the Canadian Community Building Fund, or CCBF. And I think this project would be no exception. We would look at that funding source for this work. So in order to determine whether there's funding available for this project, we had to look at the broader capital program, which is, as you know, quite substantial. There's a lot of strategic priorities and investments in infrastructure and all that fun stuff. So as the council, we haven't got the capital budget quite ready for council to have taken a look at in full. I've presented a bit of a summary here to give some comfort over the availability of this particular funding. So the draft budget has been prepared. Although, of course, council has not reviewed or revised or approved any of that, and that would still be a substantial bit of discussion, I'm assuming. That in order to assess the availability from this reserve. We've used a very conservative approach to the draft budget, so in cases where there was uncertainty on costing, we tried to aim high to ensure that if we're going to make mistakes, we're making it in a way that we end up with more money left over. Similarly, if there's timing uncertainty, we went with the most aggressive timeline we thought might be potentially possible, again, in order to make sure that we're erring on the side of caution. So some highlights here that I've presented in the report. The 5-year capital investment plan contains 66 different capital programs with a total expected 5-year budget of $219 million. Of which 97 million is expected to come from external funding sources. 42 million of that is carry forward from the 25-26 capital budget that was already approved, and in fact 38 million of that is existing committed projects that are in progress. So wastewater stuff, the Gold River Bridge, landfill construction, some pretty significant projects that are ongoing already. Overall, from the 5-year budget, we have 38 million in the landfill and another 57 million for various different sewer projects. And we also have $100 million flagged as a very high level early estimate for rec center admin facility work, with an assumption of about 65 million of that coming from other funding sources. So in taking all that into account, obviously, we then look back at the CCBF reserve, and throughout the 5 years, we've budgeted for $5.9 million of capital to come from that reserve, including the $780,000 required for this paved shoulder project. So with that plan, it would leave a projected low balance in the reserve at the end of the 28-29 fiscal year of 1.2 million. And as we know, this reserve, as it's often used for these requests from the province, we don't know until they come to us what the expected cost is. So we wanted to make sure to leave that amount there to account for any J-class road paving projects or any similar projects like this that might come up over the next few years. The last couple of years, the J-class road paving has been around 160 grand a year. I know that provincially that program is not a huge program, so I don't expect that there will be significant amounts coming in for that in the future. So the 1.2 million should be sufficient to allow council to consider and likely approve any future requests for cost sharing for paving. So in conclusion, basically, staff feel that the council can be confident in approving this paved shoulder work and still be in a position where there is appropriate funding remaining for other capital projects.
Thank you. That's good. Good to hear. It's what we needed to hear before we make a decision. So any questions for Tim or? Yeah, Abdallah?
I'd just like to say, I mean, we've done these projects, you know, they may never get done again
No.
in our lifetime, so I'll put a motion on the floor that, to move forward. I don't know what the motion would be, but
To approve the project.
to commit to the paved shoulder opportunity, is that the option we're looking at, Tara, number two?
Yeah.
So motion is to commit to the paved shoulder opportunity using Canada Community Building Funds. And the municipality would commit 100% of the project to $750,000 plus our portion of ASET.
Okay, mover, seconder? Seconded by Tina. Andre?
Just wanted to say that we have never not we've always contributed when we've been given the opportunity to participate in a provincial project, be it J-class roads or shoulder paving. I think it's crucially important that we continue to do so, because oftentimes we can be made out to be the villains by other levels of government when projects aren't done, and it's very, very, very nice to be able to tell residents that we've always seized on every opportunity to participate. And should we start picking and choosing, then that defense that we have to the public will be gone. So for that reason, but having said that, I'm really, really glad that we have this report. Should we have made this decision a few weeks ago when it was first asked of us blindly, without knowing if it were going to put us in a shortfall position, I think would have been irresponsible. So I'm glad to have this report, albeit rushed, so that we can at least have some sort of semblance of confidence that we're not going to jeopardize future work.
Any other comments? Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Wonderful.
Okay, I'm not aware of any additional business, so a motion to adjourn would be in order. Moved by Tom, seconded by Abdallah. Discussion, all those in favor, opposed, motion is carried. Well, I guess we'll take probably a 5-minute break and then move on to